gotta set your sights high and dig deep. It's not your time to die, or simply stand by when you're down to the wire and you're feeling so hot. With your feet to the fire, just try and make the shot. Don't speak, just breathe. And there you stand in pain, twisted all before that screaming cry. It's like you've been here before. Come on, let's see your flex. So keep your head high. Don't forget to use your battle cry. You'll want to win even more when you see your flex. When you're almost there and you spilled it all, you're up against the ropes, but the fight's not fair. Forget your pride, take it all in stride. You represent a lot more, it's what you fight for. What brought you here, what made it clear? You fight all your fears, blood, sweat and tears. Just remember you're the winner, you're the gold medal winner. You're the one with the flag like you just don't care. You stand in pain, you risked it all before that screaming cry. It's like you've been here before. Come on, let's see your flex. So keep your head high. Don't forget to use your battle cry. You want to win even more when you see your flex. One step closer, one step closer, one step closer, one step closer. And now you're standing proud. You risked it all before that screaming cry. It's like you've been here before. Come on, let's see your flex. So keep your head high. Don't forget to use your battle cry. You want to win even more when you see your flex. Want to win even more when you see your flex. One step closer, one step closer, one step closer, one step closer. And now you're standing proud. You risked it all before that screaming cry. It's like you've been here before. Come on, let's see your flex. So keep your head high. Don't forget to use your battle cry. You want to win even more
Please welcome our Master of Ceremonies, Joseph Farah, Deputy Chair and Assistant Professor of Mathematics.
All right, good morning, Lehman College. Good morning. Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning, distinguished guests. And good morning, students. The pride and power of Lehman. Many thanks to all of you for joining us here today. And a very special thanks to the Lehman Brass Ensemble, led by Armando Rodriguez, for their inspirational opening. It is my pleasure and my privilege to welcome you to Convocation. Traditionally, Convocation serves as the formal beginning of the academic year. It's Lehman's opening day, the Lightning's homecoming, if you will. Today means, unfortunately, that the lazy days of summer are behind us, but we are well rested and we are re-energized for a year of quality academics, fruitful collaborations, and meaningful service. So ladies and gentlemen, consider this whole thing your locker room pep talk before the big game that is the academic year. And just like the big, round of applause, there you go. And just like the big game, we are fortunate to have the strong support and fine leadership of many. Right now, I'd like to ask the members of the President's Cabinet and our deans to stand for acknowledgement. Round of applause. Thank you guys for all that you do. I would also like to take a moment to recognize our Grand Marshal, Professor Ann Rothstein of the Department of Early Childhood and Childhood Education, and our Deputy Grand Marshal, Professor Joseph Racklin of the Department of Biology. Also joining me as one of today's faculty marshals is Associate Professor Allison Behrman of the Department of Speech, Language, Hearing Sciences. Thank you. Representing our exceptional student body is Ms. Daisy Flores, President of the Lehman College Student Government Association. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce the third president of Lehman College, Dr. Jose Luis Cruz.
Thank you, Professor Farah. It's my third time up here for Convocation, and I still get a little bit emotional about what it means from the standpoint of the start of the academic year and the perspectives that it provides to how we will conduct our work to ultimately enhance the lives of so many that depend so much on what this institution can do, not just for them, but for the generations that will follow. I really and deeply appreciate your presence here today. It is a most joyous occasion. It is Convocation. But I'd like to begin with a heartfelt note of appreciation for which some personal context is in order. You see, I have been in a very introspective mood of late. I have weathered profound sadness when trying to wrap my head around the arguably criminal response to Hurricanes Irma and Maria in Puerto Rico. And just for the sake of those today in the path of Hurricane Florence, I hope someone will let @real Donald Trump know that the work in Puerto Rico was not incredibly successful, nor one of the best jobs that's ever been done. I have also worked to manage my righteous indignation when facing the images of families separated at the border for nothing more than their audacity to aspire to be part of our great, if imperfect, American experiment. And I have sought to contain my anger when witnessing how otherness is weaponized by those who see the pitting of Americans against each other as a winning political strategy to solidify their base. And on a more personal note, or even more personal note, I have wrestled with the anxiety that comes with being of a certain age, launching young adults into the world, and knowing that their health and fortune are subject to rules and norms that are less equitable than the ones I faced when first facing the world on my own. But my mood lightens and my soul soars when I escape the trappings of my internal world and land here, in the here and now. And I'm reminded of how privileged Rima and I are to be part of Lehman's extended family of teachers, scholars, learners, advocates, and yes, activists. Because I know that every one of you in the past year, in addition to celebrating what I hope were many high points, have also had to struggle in one way or another with your own personal challenges and the bleak reality of the times in which we live. Yet, here you are today, in the here and now, energized and ready to make a difference by helping to advance the noble mission of Lehman College of the City University of New York. So thank you. Thank you for the hope your presence here today instills in me and the confidence it engenders in those we serve. If you are new to Lehman, you will soon understand what I am talking about. In the meantime, please accept a big round of applause in appreciation for entrusting your educational journey, professional future, and personal aspirations to our proud campus community. And if you are a returning member of our campus community, you are most likely here precisely because you understand what I am talking about. So please accept a big round of applause in appreciation for your continued commitment to the tenets of educational equity and social justice that have established Lehman College as the quintessential anchor institution of the Bronx. The word convocation comes from the Latin for call together. And today we have been called together to celebrate the year that was and envision the year that will be. The excellence and drive exhibited by our students, faculty, and staff in the video that opened this convocation, and all the activities that were not part of that video that contribute to this statement, is strong and well poised, a demonstration that this college is strong and well poised to increase its impact and expand its reach as it enters the second half of its first century. But skeptics abound, and for many years now actually, questions have been raised about the value of a college education and the ability of urban institutions like Lehman to get the job done. Indeed, 5 years ago, the Chronicle of Higher Education asked several higher ed thought leaders and practitioners to respond to the following proposition, and I quote, "There has been a lot of talk lately about innovation in academia, but how realistic is it to expect institutions with long histories and traditional academic structures and cultures to be able to change?" Unquote. At the time, I responded that it was very realistic for institutions such as ours to drive change, but that those questioning our ability to do so needed to accept that in higher ed, transformational change is most readily achieved through the sum of many well-choreographed, data-informed, intentional, incremental reforms grounded in an institution's mission, values, and culture, rather than through the disruptive innovations those asking the question seem to prefer. Disruptive innovations that, in my experience, have tended to be more disruptive than innovative. Today, as we mark the third week of the third academic year of our collective third presidency, I am pleased to say that my response then resonates with my lived experience now. To illustrate this, here are but 8 examples of transformational accomplishments that our students, faculty, and staff, that you, have registered in the past year. on access and opportunity. At 919, the fall 2017 full-time freshman class was Lehman's largest in nearly a decade. And at 14,130, the fall 2017 total student enrollment was our largest since 1976, when CUNY's free tuition policy was discontinued. In terms of retention, the proportion of first-time full-time freshmen who return as full-time students the following fall at Lehman is almost 80%, which is nearly 10 points higher than the CUNY senior college average. But what about graduation rates for freshmen? Well, the 6-year graduation rate for the first-time full-time freshman cohort that entered in 2011 increased 8.6 percentage points compared to our fall 2007 cohort. And we are very proud to say that this is the largest growth rate of any CUNY senior college during this 4-year period. But what about transfers? The 4-year graduation rate of students who transferred to Lehman from a CUNY associate degree program in fall 2012 was 7.5% higher than the CUNY average. Are we doing well with STEM students? In the 4 years between fall 2013 and fall 2017, the number of undergraduate STEM majors, science, technology, engineering, and math majors, nearly doubled. This 96% growth rate is the highest in all of CUNY. What about grants, contracts, and gifts? The number of funded research grants at Lehman has increased by 143.8% over the last 4 years. This is the largest growth rate of all senior colleges, and we're also very happy to report that our external support has grown by nearly 85% over that same period. But is there value in the degrees that we're producing? Well, Forbes recently set out to identify the schools where grads owe the least relative to their likely mid-career income. And Lehman was one of only 4 public colleges to rank in the top 25 low-debt, high-income schools. But are we serving our role as perhaps the most important mission-critical senior college of the world's greatest urban university by advancing the mission for which this great university was established, which is to say, to ensure that we serve as a vehicle of upward mobility for the traditionally underserved peoples of New York? The answer is yes. We're proud to announce, at a time of growing inequality in America and waning support for public higher education, that Lehman is one of our nation's top engines of social mobility. The Chronicle of Higher Education recently ranked our college as 3rd in the country for helping students whose parents were in the bottom 20% of income levels to reach the top 20% of individual earnings. So clearly, Lehman is an exceptional example, going back to the question that the Chronicle of Higher Ed posed 5 years ago. Lehman is an exceptional example of how institutions with long histories and traditional academic structures and cultures can drive and sustain transformational change. But it is because of this exceptionality that we have the responsibility to drive harder and to accelerate our progress toward meeting our full potential. And as you all know, this is the underlying rationale of our 90 by 30 vision. And because the academic year is just getting started, a quick refresher on 90 by 30 seems in order. First, what is 90 by 30? Last year, in anticipation of our 50th anniversary, we took on a bold challenge: to become the top contributor to educational attainment in the Bronx by doubling from 45,000 to 90,000 the number of high-quality degrees and credentials that our students will earn by 2030. As such, 90 by 30 is a proclamation of national relevance, a recognition of a moral imperative, an articulation of our institutional values, an invitation to transcend perceived limitations, and yes, a bold, audacious goal which calls on us to privilege scale, impact, and quality in all we do. But why does 90 by 30 matter? For many reasons. The Bronx is trending upward and moving forward. But without bold intervention, many Bronx residents are unlikely to benefit. Two trends make the current situation ripe for urgent intervention. The largest demographic living in poverty in the Bronx is females ages 25 to 34, and the school-age population is the fastest growing in the city. The elementary schools in the Bronx, for instance, operated at 105% of capacity this past academic year. And given our times and my opening remarks, it is more urgent than ever that in advancing our mission, we seek to educate, engage, and empower as many as we can through educational offerings that privilege civic learning, critical thinking, information literacy, and inclusive excellence. And if it's not us, Lehman College of the City University of New York, who is going to do that here in the Bronx? So what are we doing to meet 90 by 30? We're doing lots of things. For instance, we're using data analytics to inform student advising. We're strategically addressing bottleneck courses through pedagogical innovations. And we're implementing projects in the areas of experiential learning, frictionless transfer pathways, and public-private partnerships to prepare our students well for careers, the pursuit of further study, and well-lived lives. And so the final question, of course, must be, have we made any progress? And the response is a resounding yes. Just 1 year after launching 90 by 30, the number of degrees and professional certificates earned by our students increased by 12%, far exceeding the annual growth rate required to meet 90 by 30. This increase is also the largest in nearly a decade and more than double of the number of degrees and professional certificates conferred 20 years ago. The photo of our commencement ceremony shown in the video speaks for itself. In fact, I think we need to start looking for a new place to hold our commencement. And so I'll be looking for that to be one of this year's campus conversations. This is huge, and it's yet another reason for a round of applause because we're registering these levels of success in a county that ranks next to last in educational attainment among the 62 counties in the great state of New York, and which has one of the lowest mobility indices in the country for children born into poverty. So a big round of applause for the accomplishments of this great institution. So a quick note or a quick word on the academic year ahead. We will attend classes, we will study for midterms, write papers, do lab experiments, engage in field work, rehearse for performances, set up exhibits, practice for athletic events, submit grant applications, push the frontiers of knowledge, implement new administrative processes, deploy new technologies, break ground for new buildings, recruit new talented and diverse students, faculty, and staff, prepare tenure and promotion applications, and gear up, as I foreshadowed a second ago, to host what will in all likelihood be the biggest commencement ceremony in our college's history. We will also continue our campus-wide conversations on issues such as enhancing institutional capacity, improving data analytics, optimizing resource allocation practices, supporting our faculty's research, engaged scholarship, and creative activities, and improving student success. So, for those of you that have been around, the academic rhythms of the year ahead will likely feel very familiar. But I want to give you a heads up that we will need to up the tempo a little bit to accommodate our Middle States Commission on Higher Education institutional self-study process, a form of institutional introspection, if you will, that will require our focused attention and enthusiastic engagement in the year ahead. The good news is that we have established a distinguished steering committee to guide us through this process in a way that will not only result in our institutional reaccreditation, but also produce a slate of recommendations that will serve as a meaningful institutional planning and visioning tool for the future. Several members of the steering committee are here with us today. Let's show them our appreciation with a much-deserved round of applause. Thank you. In closing, I want to circle back to last year's convocation. At the time, I framed Lehman's story as the story of the rebellious faculty of Hunter in the Bronx who gained their independence from Hunter on Park Avenue and went on to transform what was then a 37-year-old branch campus with its own illustrious history into what today is one of our country's premier public urban serving institutions. And I made the point that in launching our college's third presidency, we had a rare opportunity to set the stage for how we wanted the next chapter of our story to read. Based on my remarks today, I am confident you will agree that Lehman's next chapter will surely detail how we lived up to the ideal articulated upon our founding of enriching the human spirit and offering to as many as can realize their potential the opportunity to be so enriched. Moreover, I know my confidence is well placed because, as the Chancellor of the University of Bristol so poignantly stated a century ago, it is in universities that the soul of a people mirrors itself. Which means that in the case of Lehman College, it is the soul of the people of the storied, resilient borough of the Bronx and the soul of the people of the world's greatest city, the city of New York, that will forever fuel our efforts to meet our full potential as an engine of opportunity, a vehicle of upward mobility, and a driver of transformational change. So my call to action today is the same as it was last year and the year before that. It is time, once again, to roll up our sleeves, sharpen our focus, open our hearts, steel our resolve, and get the job done. I stand honored, ready, willing, and able to join each and every one of you in the hard, important work ahead. Thank you very much.
Now, please welcome Justin Kelly, a music major, class of 2020. He will perform Believe in Yourself, a song from the play The Wiz.
Believe air. Click your heels 3 times. If you believe, then you'll be there. That's why I want you to believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic right there in your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to, but believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Oh, believe in yourself as I believe in you. Believe that you can go home. Oh, believe that you can float on air. Oh, click your heels 3 times if you believe, then you'll be there. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic right there in your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. As I believe in
Please welcome Professor Pamela Mills, Interim Dean. Interim Dean of the School of Natural and Social Sciences, who will present the Teacher of the Year Award.
Hi. At the beginning of each year, we welcome our new students and our returning students, and also our faculty, who have a historical dedication to the success of our students. Faculty teach, advise, mentor our students. We challenge them to think critically and creatively, and we work hard to make sure our students succeed and achieve their dreams and goals. The annual Teacher of the Year Award honors that spirit of excellence and achievement, calling attention to faculty who demonstrated a particularly outstanding degree of commitment to the teaching profession. It is now my pleasure to ask President Cruz to join me to present the award. For 2018, the selection committee, made up of students and previous recipients of the award, chose Professor Joseph Farah of the Department of Mathematics of Lehman College as the Teacher of the Year. Will Professor Farah step forward? Assistant Professor Joseph Farah has taught in the Mathematics Department of Lehman College since 2011. Since fall of 2014, he has served as Deputy Chair of the department and is an active member of the department's Education Policy Committee. He is a college-wide academic momentum planning team, participates in the team, and he's coordinator of the redesign of Lehman's Gateway Math course. He teaches a wide variety of mathematics courses and is consistently ranked outstanding by his students. But perhaps most importantly, he makes math accessible and comprehensible to all of us. Our congratulations to Professor Farah on being named Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Interim Dean Mills, and thank you, President Cruz. There's really no words for this. I am truly and sincerely honored to accept this award. I'd like to express my gratitude to the members of the Teacher of the Year Committee, to Professors Brian Murphy, Nick Hanges, and Nikki Fain. My deepest appreciation to my colleagues and friends, my family, my son Preston. He's only one and he kept me up last night, but I still love him. And my wife, Nicole. Thank you all for your unwavering support day in and day out. It's no secret, I'm bad at keeping secrets anyway, that I love what I do for a living. In fact, most days I'm surprised that they pay me to do it, but I'm happy that they do. So is my family. I love being in the classroom. I love engaging in meaningful conversations, and I love sharing my mathematical interests, insights, and passions. But the truth is that I only have the opportunity to engage in these loves because of our students. So to all of our Lehman students, it's your hard work, your diligence, and your commitment to this school that make this award worth winning at all. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
And now, please welcome Ms. Renee Rotolo, Executive in charge of the Division of Administration and Finance and Assistant Vice President for Campus Planning and Facilities. She will present the awards for outstanding contributions to the college.
During my time at Lehman, I have continually been impressed by the extraordinary dedication and hard work from staff. At this time of year, we traditionally acknowledge the contribution they make to the college day in and day out to make Lehman College all that it is. This year, 2 staff members have earned the annual President's Award for Outstanding Contributions to the college. At this time, I'd like to ask President Cruz to please join me on the stage. I would also like to ask Angelina Furman to join us as well. Angelina began her career at Lehman College as a college assistant in 2013. In July 2015, she began working with Paula Lascoco, the chair of the English department, to increase the efficiency and administrative effectiveness of the department. In January 2018, she was appointed as a CUNY office assistant. She serves as the primary staff member for 24 full-time faculty and 85 to 90 adjuncts in the department. She has been an excellent leader of the team of college assistants, interns, and work-study staff in the department. Angelina has been praised for performing her work with respect for her colleagues and our students. She is able to combine hard work with kindness and good humor. She is always going the extra mile to assist our faculty and students. Congratulations, Angelina. The second honoree is someone I can certainly vouch for. I ask Richard Santipo to join us. Richie began working at Lehman College in November 2006 as a college assistant in the Leonard Leaf Library. He joined Buildings and Grounds in March 2008 as a custodial assistant. Richie was appointed custodial supervisor in March 2012 and then became principal custodial supervisor in December 2015. In addition to his responsibilities supervising the team of custodial supervisors, Rich is also responsible for special events at our college. Whether it be luncheons, dinners, book signings, state of the college addresses, the Lehman Lecture, Convocation, at any event, Richie is involved in the planning and execution with the staff assigned to that event. Once the setup begins, Richie is omnipresent, working with his team and paying attention to every detail. He is thorough in everything he does in his role in buildings and grounds. It is a pleasure to work with him. Richie also excels because he performs his tasks in a compassionate and intelligent manner. He is an effective leader with dedication to his profession, his team, and to the Lehman College community. Congratulations, Richie.
Before I have the honor of announcing the final speaker, I'd just like to make a correction and acknowledge the Lehman College Jazz Ensemble, led by Alan Molnar. So please, a round of applause for them. And now I do have the honor to introduce our final speaker, Ms. Daisy Flores, President of the Lehman College Student Government Association. Daisy is a food and nutrition major and a member of the class of 2019. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Flores.
Good morning, everyone. Well, now, good afternoon. Thank you to President Cruz and to my colleagues and fellow officers of the Student Government Association for assisting me into my new role as Student Government President. Lehman College has a very close connection to my journey and passion for learning. See, many may not know, but I grew up on this campus as a little girl. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, my Aunt Daisy was studying accounting here at Lehman College, and she would take me to so many of her classes. In these lecture halls, I would sneak off into the next classroom and pretend I was an adjunct to teach many of my imaginary friends and some of my made-up concepts. But the more time I spent in those empty classrooms, I picked up a new skill, learning how to write. And my very first thing, I'm very proud of this, my very first thing that I ever wrote here at this college was my name, and it was legible. The reason I'm sharing this story with you all is that I never would have guessed that I would serve as a leader at this college. The moment in which I wrote my name repeatedly in the classroom marked my journey to where you may see today. See, this institution is so unique in which one moment can completely change your life. The experiences at this institution are catalytic to their success for students. I call on every single faculty member, administrator, and student to remember my story. The actions of my younger 4-year-old self never knew that I would be challenged here, that I would mature here and discover myself here. For me, Lehman College is more than just a learning institution. Life happens here, and change happens here. This all began in that classroom, and it will continue to grow well past my graduation and my education here as I share my knowledge and experiences with incoming Lehman students in the Herbert H. Leadership Program as a mentor. So I ask all of you, in the stories of student successes, what role will you play? I challenge all faculty, administrators, and staff to be part of a student success journey. Reach out and become invested in our students, and I can assure you, you will not be disappointed. Our students are more than just scholars. They are part of the working force. They are parents. They are first-generation college students. But more importantly, they're part of our community here in the Bronx. We are all part of the same vision, and we have a small part to play in this journey. I ask of you, remind yourselves as you are teaching, as you are leading, in any capacity that you guys are serving, Do not underestimate the impact and your role for students' lives here at Lehman. We are honored and privileged to work at a higher education institution, not only where it is, but it's in the Bronx. I'm so proud that Lehman can come and be part of that higher institution and change lives. I am so proud to say that Lehman College is my home, and that here at Lehman College, I was inspired to be a global change maker. On behalf of the Student Government Association, we are excited for the plans of this college for this upcoming academic year, and we are honored to serve under the visionary leadership of our college president, Dr. Jose Luis Cruz. And I am now pleased to invite all of you to our reception that's happening in the faculty dining room after the conclusion at this ceremony. So thank you guys all.